Let's see how many we can get. Whoops, need a little bit of mana now. We'll give her just a second. Hello, my name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Super Fantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where I'm here in the World of Warcraft, and this is World of Warcraft Classic. It's good to be back in the good old days. I played through WoW Vanilla, and I had a lot of fun with it. Back in the days before, I was making YouTube videos. In fact, I started probably making videos for YouTube right when the Burning Crusade started. So I played through all Vanilla, didn't make any videos. And then finally I was like, well, all these other people making videos, I'm going to do it too. And so I sought out ways to start recording and making things. So now that Classic is here, I'm all set. And I can share my little journeys with you. What I'm doing here is I'm using a mage character to conjure water because, well, mages can make mana drinks for free. It's just a spell. Once they're conjured, they can be passed off to other characters. So this other character here is also me, Tank Cow. And so, since I'm trying to save gold on buying mana drinks, I simply pass them over to Tank Cow. Alright, so you might be thinking to yourself, Joe, what does a warrior need with conjured fresh water? Well, they're not for my warrior. So this is my Restoration Druid, and I've been having fun doing a little initial healing in dungeons. In fact, I have a dungeon quest to finish, well actually two of them, in Ragefire Chasm. So I'm going to see if I can't find a dungeon group, hopefully a good one. I've had a couple of good dungeon runs and a couple of bad dungeon runs. And when I say bad, I'm saying that in terms of impatient players, not quite familiar with how things work in WoW Classic, and growing very easily frustrated. So, WoW Classic is not for everybody. Oh, I guess she still had some. I had made some fresh water for her earlier, but I had to log out. And I was worried that I was going to lose those conjured items on logout, but I guess they persisted, at least for a few minutes. Alright, so now that I have the fresh water that she needs, let's see about getting her armed and ready to go. There we go. I picked up a staff which gives a bonus to healing spells, so that's what she'll be using. It's basically just a stat stick, so I'm not really worried about using the staff for her. Actually, as a weapon, it's there basically just to enhance her stats. And I'm on my way down to Ragefire Chasm. Usually there are parties forming out there all the time, and someone will shout, "Looking for healer!" and I'll raise my three fingers and say, "Here I am." Oh, and while we're headed down, let's see if we can't add a little to some of this gear. Oh, can't do that while I'm moving. Alright, well, we'll do it once we get down there. I have armor kits that allow me to enhance the armor that I picked up recently. So she picked up a couple of upgrades the last time that she went through the chasm. And so I want to go ahead and enhance them a little bit with some armor kits. Oh, speaking of enhancing, you know what? I also need to bring my enchanter down here so that she can get some enchantments. Unfortunately, he is very far away. But here, I will start sending him over to Orgrimmar, and he'll take the Zeppelin, and, well, he'll get there eventually. In the meantime, let's see, while we're waiting for a group, let's see, where is the armor kit? Alright, so armor kits allow us to provide enhancements. In this case, it's reinforcing the armor +8. So normally this armor would be a level 70 of protection. Well, not level as in terms of character level, but as an armor level. And I've added +8 to that. So that's significant, going from 70 to 78. It adds a little bit, protects her a little bit better. Oh. Maybe I found a group already. Can't tell who's who here. They just randomly invite you without saying anything. Uh-oh, I have a bad vibe about these guys already. If they're very quiet players and they don't want to talk to anybody, they're probably not the vanilla crowd. They're someone who's coming by to sample vanilla. They're going to tend to be really antisocial. And, well, let's see. I've got this one. And I've got this one. Let's see. I'm a little cautious here. It's kind of bad manners to invite someone to a group without asking them, but we'll see. Too far away to receive the quest, they says. Wait a minute, how is he too far away to receive the quest when he is right there? Let's try that again. Oh, now he's busy because he hasn't... Alright, well, I'll share that quest with him. By sharing the quest with the other group, other people... Oh no, try to tank. This is sounding bad already. Let's take a look and see Mr. Try to Tank, huh? Let's see if this is a good idea. Level 5. Wow, this guy... Yeah, he's only got level 5 gear. I mean, come on. This is going to be a disaster. Alright, I have a bad feeling about this. I'm keeping an eye out for a different group. I don't think these guys are going to work out. You know what, I'm sorry, this is just not going to work. So I thought maybe it's a minor oversight, you know, maybe he'll go get some enhancements. No, he's sitting there and clearly undergeared. I mean, come on, you know, you're level 12 and you're wearing level 5 gear. I'm not trying to be a snob, but he's going to be destroyed in RFC. And then it's the healer's fault when he dies. Oh well, I'm over here at the Zeppelin watching that show up for my Warlock, so he'll be able to come by and provide some enhancements for my Shaman. Or, I mean, yeah, Shaman. I'm trying to keep my healing classes straight here. Okay, so, let's see, we can do some other upgrades. The armor kit allows us to, as you can see, it says chest, legs, hands, and feet. So hands and feet. So since each of these is offering plus 8 to armor, overall, I just added 32 armor. It's like adding another piece of gear. Someone's offering my warlock a hellstone. I'm not really sure why. I am a warlock. I can make these things. It's kind of strange. Now, I'm just having fun reading the chat here. Okay, so my warlock is just arriving on the Zeppelin, so we'll run him down here and see if he can't give her some nice enchantments. Well, I was hoping that I would get lucky and find a group. However, pickings seem to be slim, so if things don't change, after my warlock gets here and I enchant, I'll just go ahead and go out and return to questing. Sometimes it happens that way. On the plus side, my shaman was behind my warrior in terms of experience. And after a few Ragefire Chasm runs as a healer, she has been able to catch up. In fact, I think she's overtaken my warrior. But once my warrior's geared up a little bit to where she can tank RFC runs, she'll catch up as well. And they'll even out. That was the intention between leveling both a warrior and protection warrior and a restoration shaman. So those are the tank and healing specs for those classes. And everywhere you look, you'll see people saying, looking for tank, looking for healer, and then specifying the various different values, well, dungeons that they're looking for, level ranges. So I'm hoping to jump into that. I was able to get in a few good dungeon runs, but kind of hoping I'd find another one here. Sometimes you have to wait a bit. Sometimes you get lucky and see several groups forming all at once. Oh, see, looking for tank. Oh, Scarlet Monastery. Now, Scarlet Monastery is as it once was. Instead of being 2 instances, it's now 4. Or that's the way it was originally. Alright, so this is my warlock, and the one thing that I couldn't enhance was her bracers, but he can enchant those. So let's see, does he have any... Oh, wait a minute, he doesn't have any materials. Well, I thought he could. Well, you know what? I have an item I can disenchant. Oh. But I can't disenchant while I'm in that menu. Ugh, and it didn't give me the right stuff. I need strange dust. Let's see, does she have anything that, well, as a matter of fact, I believe I have some stuff for her. Or, I mean, for him. That's soulbound. I need to find something that I can trade to him. I think he's got some stuff in his mailbox waiting that he can use to disenchant, so that he'll be able to create the enchantment to enchant her wrists. And that way, everything that she's wearing that can be enhanced will be enhanced. At least that's the idea. Of course, eventually she'll out-level all of that gear, but c'est la vie. A large part of the World of Warcraft vanilla experience was questing, and I have a feeling that some of these players are probably coming over from WoW Retail and are a bit in denial that that is the case. So rather than going out and questing, they're hoping to just kind of sit around dungeons and level. Now granted, I was kind of hoping to sponge off of them at least a little bit, but if the groups aren't forming, I'll just go back to questing. Yeah, and it can't be some guy who's in there is like, yeah, I got level 5 gear, so what? And I'm like, oh, you are just going to die horribly. And, you know, I'm trying to be there as a healer to keep everybody alive, and this guy's just going to be a liability. Oh, good. I've got all kinds of goodies in his mail that he can disenchant. Excellent. Alright, so running him back down there. Now, looking for healer, Black Fathom Deeps. Or, oh, actually, it's a healer looking for group. It's like, I'm a healer. And it seems like a disproportionate number of players want to be DPS. And I'll admit that throughout all vanilla, I was a DPS player. In fact, the Warlock that you just saw is an exact copy of the original character that I first played when the World of Warcraft launched. In fact, I still have that character on the retail version of World of Warcraft today. I had played him all the way from vanilla all the way through to Battle for Azeroth. So, when WoW Classic came out, I thought it would only be appropriate that I make another character that was exactly like the one I began with. Except now, I get to come back with all these lessons learned, and hopefully have a better time of it. There were many things that were kind of a mystery to me. I messed up my skills. For example, as a Forsaken, the first skill trainer I came across was a tailor. You know, they're out there on that little farm, and you meet them before you even make it to Brill, after you've come out of Death Knell. And I was like, oh, great, you know, I'll become a tailor. But then I was thinking to myself, how will I make gold in this game? I know, I'll go mine it. Thinking that mining was the way to go. I thought I would just, you know, mine gold out of the ground and then have gold to spend. It doesn't quite work that way in the World of Warcraft, but I didn't know it at the time. So I was a miner and tailor for at least a little while. It was kind of silly. I picked all the wrong gear, and I didn't understand a lot of how the classes worked, or even the roles. And there were a lot of things that were a mystery to me. Okay, so now he's got what he needs. Here, let's say Enhanced Bracer, Minor Health. So this will add a +3 to health. And, now here's an experiment, and I don't know if this is the case. I'm wondering if the armor kit is considered an enchantment. If I enchant it, does it replace the armor that I just put on there? I prefer the armor, but I'm just curious as to whether or not it can stack. Okay, yeah, it replaces it, so armor kits are just basically considered an enhancement. Wow, this person is rude. Inviting people without asking. And he was inviting my warlock as well. I mean, generally you ask people before you send them a party invitation. I'll take that as a yes. Alright, so it's a different group and they're in a different phase. And we have a full group. Alright, so maybe I'll be able to get into Ragefire Chasm after all. If you're just joining me on Twitch, hello, my name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Super Fantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where I'm playing the World of Warcraft Classic Edition, and let's see. Oh, I have too much noise in the background. Okay. And I'm about to jump into a dungeon. This will be Ragefire Chasm, where I'll be acting as a healer for my group. As a matter of fact, are they already in there? It's kind of hard to tell by their dot locations. No, I guess I'm the first one in. Okay. Whoa! Are you kidding me? Here, I'm going to step out here. I'm surprised they come right up to the entrance like that. Oh, shoot. Here, let me help this guy. I saw him come in just as I walked out. Whoops. Alright, never mind. I'm out. He must have realized it and run out too. Yeah, man. Oh, and these are all my macro commands, so let's switch to solo mode. Okay, ready to heal. After this dungeon, I'll go back to multi-box questing.
I like my women dumpy and droopy with halitosis.
Okay, so I guess this is our tank. Okay, gotta get to healing. It's interesting, I don't think I've ever seen one of the elementals come right up to the instance boundary like that. Here, let's move this out over here. The name of this add-on here that you see me using is called Healbot Continued, and what it allows me to do is to automatically target any member of the party without having to like switch back and forth or click on people. So it single targets and then allows me to cast spells based on hotkeys. So, you know, left click does one thing, shift left click does another, and so forth. Right click is something else. Holding down shift and right click does something else, etc. and so forth. Whoops, I'm running low on mana.
My mana must be replenished.
Okay, hopefully he gives me a second.
Yeah.
Choo choo. Chugga 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 choo choo.
Okay. Oh, well, thanks for the offer. I'm covered. Oh, do we have a priest? Yes, I guess we do. Let's get some use out of that totem. I can get a little skill with my staff here. I recently just picked up this thing, and so I don't have any skill at all. So she's not very effective with it. It's just basically a stat stick, so I'll whack a couple of things for skill just for the heck of it. Gotta make sure to at least greed roll on the loot. Most of these items are probably going to be upgrades for everybody in here, so I don't expect to actually get anything that I greed for. Oh, good. That probably does need to go to, well, the stats are a little strange. Notice that it's agility and stamina, but I'm sure our tank can still make good use of it. Warriors have to wear chainmail until level 40 in WoW Classic, after which point they have the option of switching over to plate mail. So, and sometimes the stats are weird, there are some leather items that I'm going to end up receiving that, well, in fact, I think I'm wearing one now, where it's intellect and stamina. Whoops. Spam, spam, spam. You are not dying. You do not have my permission.
I need more mana.
Okay, so take a little drink here. Let's see if these boots are... No, they're not an upgrade, so I'll just greed on them. Okay. I'll pick up all the junk that goes along because it helps to fund my characters. I feel like getting a little fire DPS in, so the Searing Totem will help with that. I always like these things. We once had a good old time raiding Stormwind. We had something like 10 or 12 shaman, and so we got into the tramway that connects Stormwind to Ironforge. and right at the entrance, just as you walk into the tram from Stormwind, we placed, well, one of each for every shaman we had. So you walked in and you got slammed with 12 or 13 of these things all at once. And so the totems were just mowing people down. It was great. I remember the Alliance was very upset. Whoops. Uh-oh. Come on. Trying to keep people up, but got problems. Don't give up, guys. Keep hitting them. This is where this... Oh, dang it. I was going to say this is where the Searing Totem comes in handy, because then I can heal and DPS at the same time. Okay, there's nothing I can do here. Yeah, I'm dead. Oh well, that was a heavy pull. That's the thing, in WoW Classic they really need to manage their pulls, and people will learn this the hard way the longer they play. So if you have a warlock in your group, you want to designate things to fear. If you happen to have a mage in your group, you need to designate things to sheep. So a little bit of pull management goes a long way. Yeah, if anybody was sheeping there, I didn't notice it, but it could have helped. But, you know, it's a natural thing to kind of get back into the swing of things. So as long as the group remains in good spirits, there's nothing to really get upset about as people get reacclimatized. Now, if this were to happen in, say, like, Scarlet Monastery, it's like, well, alright, you should have figured this part out by now. I mean, come on. Yeah, or Blackrock Depths. Oh, Sunken Temple. Ah, the good old days. I'm actually really looking forward to Sunken Temple, which is a huge dungeon. Yeah. In the current retail version of Warcraft, they have basically cut it up. The same thing is true of Wailing Caverns. Ah, the good old Wailing Caverns. I still remember my way around there. We had the WoW Classic beta recently, and I was able to go through a Wailing Caverns group on the last night of the beta, finally. And I was surprised at how well I still knew the caverns. It's apparently, I don't know if I'm like traumatized from so many times of going in there, but I knew my way around like the back of my hand. I was kind of patting myself on the back. I was like, oh, I recognize all these places. I had a good old time. Okay, let's see if we get a little bit more pull management. I'd like to make a suggestion, but I'm afraid of offending our tank, so let's see if he figures it out. Like I said, he's got a mage in the group. See, what do we have? A mage? We have 2 mages! Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna risk it. Hopefully he doesn't wear his feelings on his sleeve, but I guess we'll find out. I'm hoping that by whispering the tank doesn't feel bad. So that way he can say it, and it's like it's his idea. I just want to survive my run. Oh, and since I have everybody here, let me share my quests with them to ensure that I get to do the quests that I want to do. Somebody's too far away to get the quest? Ah, the tank is taking the advice. Oh, but why is the mage pulling? Oh well, I guess we still have a little bit to learn. Let the tank pull. After all, the tank's the one wearing the male armor. But here, I'll do what I can. Yeah, see, it's taking away precious mana healing that mage that should go to the tank.
I need more mana. Not enough mana. I need more mana.
Ah, come on.
My
We-
mana is low.
I was gonna say, we have two mages here.
Not enough mana. My mana is low.
Alright, well, the Searing Totem pitched in a little DPS in order to get that done. So let's go ahead and get our tank up. Oh, maybe I'm not the only one who can revive. I guess not. Well, in that case, I'll just go ahead and heal the tank up. Yeah, next time I'm going to let the mage die rather than... the tank should always have priority. I'm trying to be nice. Okay, sorry, Twitch chat, I'm kind of focused on healing. If I look away, my group will die. Whoops, uh-oh. Heavy pull. Come on, can we get some sheep action? Ah, there is nothing I can do. It's strictly pull management here. They're never going to stop chasing me inside this dungeon. Alright, well, at least we have them immobilized there. Whoops, that mage is staying behind. You know they are coming to kill us. While you're inside the instance, they never stop chasing you. Out in the world, you can count on creatures to be tethered to a specific location, but that doesn't apply inside an instance. So, here we need to run out, and the creatures can't leave the instance, so as soon as we step out, the aggro is broken, and then I can come back in and revive the tank. Yeah, this is not like WoW Retail where it could pull like everything, and they can't hurt you. Okay, let's see. Let's give it a second. See, are they still sitting there? Okay, they should have broken. They'll all be going back. Nope. And it looks like one of our mages disconnected rather than face the music. Ah, boy, this is going to be difficult. And like I said, people have to become re-acclimatized to the WoW Classic way of doing things. And in some cases, these might also be players who have never played Classic before, and thus are not ready for what it entails in terms of managing aggro, managing pulls, make sure you're to use a lot of crowd control and all kinds of other stuff. I guess he wasn't confident that I was going to heal him. Alright, so where is this person dead? I have to find them now. Oh, of course there's no maps and dungeons in Classic. Okay, so is that... No, I guess not. Well, there is no queuing here, so we need to get a replacement. Maybe someday I will finally get my quest done. You know, the funny thing was is that the very first Wailing Caverns group I went into went smashingly. It was all obviously old players, and they had no trouble at all. And then the last 3 groups in a row, none of them been able to finish Wailing Caverns. Or, yeah, what am I saying? Ragefire Chasm. And, I mean, it's not that hard a dungeon. It's just, you know, you have to get used to the mechanics. You be careful with your pulls and manage things. Keep an eye on resources.
Speak, friend.
And not just your own, but your healers as well.
Be safe.
Tactical disconnect. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's like, oh, suddenly I'm having problems with my ISP. There are people that used to do that all the time in PvP because they would be in a rated battleground, and if you did the tactical disconnect, you could disconnect without suffering a loss. So if it looked like you were going to lose, you immediately killed your internet connection, and that way it was all wins. In fact, I remember that was a problem with, there was another game, I think it was like Street Fighter. There was an online version of Street Fighter that came out a couple of years ago, and that's what everybody did, you know. They only ever recorded wins, and they tactically disconnected anytime it looked like they were going to lose. Okay, let's go ahead and share. That'll be nice. Oh. I have plenty. With the Searing Totem, I get in a little DPS to help the group over those humps. Maybe with this replacement, things will go a little better. Ah, good. Now they're going my way. This leads to the other quest that I wanted to get, the Lost Satchel. It was funny because I went through one group, whoops, that went through and got the Lost Satchel, but then they refused to share the quest, which I didn't understand. Alright, like I said, tank has priority. I'll heal you if I can, but the tank has to come first. Oh. Oh, did this thing... It got stuck, didn't it? It did. Ah, I hit the button and it got stuck. Dang it. Well, I was messing with my add-on and I managed to mess it up. Spells. Okay, you know what? That's my fault. Got wife aggro. I don't believe that, but alright, this darn thing. Ah! Alright, healing wave. I was sitting there trying to click on it and it wasn't initiating it. Then I was watching my mana. I was like, oh no, I've got mana for the spell. Cast it! But I was messing with the controls. I was trying to get those arrows off. That's a feature that I'd never seen before on Healbot Continued. Probably because I'm using an older version normally. But I need to get this updated version in order to work with Classic. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get the stupid thing off the screen. And somehow I changed, with one click, all the spells that it was set for. Okay, so that wipes on me. Ooh, hopefully none of those people ever see this stream. Alright, let's see. Let's see if we can... Alright, now it's working again. Come on. Alright, note to self, do not mess with the controls on Healbot while in a dungeon. That's one of our party members. Let's get him up off the floor. Here, I'll drink a little bit. There's always that one guy who won't run back with the rest of the party. That's just fine, I don't care. I've got lots of conjured fresh water and it's all free, so I'm not really worried about it. Ah, he made it all the way to the entrance before he died. I'm impressed.
Choo choo. Chugga 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 choo choo.
Alright, you know what? Yeah, I'll manually select the tank so I can just spam this with the number 2 key. Because the add-on got stuck at the absolute worst time. Let's move that over there. I'll also go Rockbiter. This tank has been patient, so I'm going to stick with him no matter what. The mage is getting aggro. Trying to save the mana for the tank. Maybe that'll encourage the mage to get to the back if she takes a little damage. There is something. That's one thing that these runs are also handy for, is getting some silver. So up to this point, my warlock and my mage have been the sugar mama and daddy for my tunes, but I'm guessing that my shaman is fast approaching the point where she's going to end up taking over that role. Part of the reason is that everybody always wants a healer, and I'll probably do the same with my warrior tank, as everybody will be looking for her tanking services once I get her kitted out properly. But I'm not going to be like that other guy we saw who is like, well, I could try to tank, and he's like wearing level 5 gear and he's level 12. It's a recipe for disaster. So I plan to get her a nice set of gear that my shaman will bankroll. So that I can tank properly when I come into these things. And learning from what I see the other tanks doing or not doing, such as if I see a mage in the group, I'm like, okay, box is going to be sheep. You know, hey warlock, X is going to be fear. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on. Alright, take less damage. Alright, well the potion came in handy. Let's save this guy.
My mana must be replenished.
Whew, that was handy. Unfortunately, I only had one. So that's it. I had one mana potion that I was able to take advantage of in an emergency. I really need an alchemist. As we've seen, every little DPS, every little bit counts, so. I'll see if I can't pitch in a little DPS rather than be just a pure healer, especially if my mana is in the process of regenerating. save it for the tank. Now, hopefully nobody fires down here. I'm seeing them wipe groups that way. The problem with pulling things at ranged, especially if it's over in another area, is that they will, as they run, they pick up every other critter, so they kind of spread the aggro around, and this gigantic mob comes down on top of you. Ooh, healing spells, but it's male. Let's see. Why don't you let me replenish? Oh, look at this, I got it. I can't really use it. Oh, you know who that would be for? That would be for a paladin. Ha! Well, paladins are not in the horde in this version. Alright, so that he... oh, look at that. He is marking them X and square. So let's see what they end up doing. I'm debating, let's see, Stone Skin or... Yeah, let's go Stone Skin, so he takes less damage. So I don't want the Searing Totem to make a mess, so... I just want my tank to take less of a beating, if at all possible. If you're not familiar with it, the Stone Skin Totem basically adds... additional protection to party members that stand within range of it, so that it's like a little miniature armor boost that's temporary as long as the totem lasts. Whereas the Searing Totem is kind of like a turret, and it just sits there and blasts anything around it, you know. Okay, and the mini-boss is down. Alright, so Mar Grim Totem. This is the guy for the little quest for recovering the lost satchel that I shared with everyone. I've been trying to complete this quest for the last 4 runs. Okay, well, maybe we've worked out the kinks in this group, should be okay. Okay, I see a question out there in Twitch chat asking, did you work out the macro telling people that the tank will be healed first? And the answer is yes. It's kind of up here in my history. Oh, I guess it's already run off the history, but... this was the macro that got spammed at the beginning of the run, if you're curious, where I tell people, hi, I'll be your healer. Please stay in line of sight and in range for heals. Tank has priority at all times. If you die, I can revive you. I want to ensure that people don't run back if they don't absolutely have to. You know what? This Rockbiter Weapon, if you're not familiar with it, basically adds additional magical damage to whatever weapon my shaman happens to be holding at the time. And Lightning Shield adds damage, well, a damaging shield to me, so that if anything strikes me, they get a little, you know, charge out of that. So that's why I picked those. Whoops, wrong button. trying to make sure everybody stays up, no matter what the mayhem going on is. Okay, spam heal the tank. Come on, come on. Oh, well, he's okay. Alright, so... Well, wait a minute.
I need more mana.
Don't run away. I see him getting all set there. I was like, well, wait a minute, dude. I want to keep you alive, but you have to work with me. At least a little bit.
Moo.
That's Torin for ready. The little Searing Totem doesn't do all that much damage, but it can help a little bit. Every little bit of DPS counts towards the overall goal of taking them down. And sometimes it seems to be just a little bit more DPS that we need to keep from wiping. So, I don't mind contributing just a little. In fact, here. You light up my life. Yeah, I can give him a little charge. Doesn't even cost me very much mana. What? Immune? For a second. Save the mana for heals. But that doesn't mean that I can't whack this thing. Plus it gets me a little skill with stabs. I've got plenty of water, so I'm not worried about wasting it. Whoops. That's not nice. Top everybody off and make sure that they are good. Whoops, and I need more mana.
My mana must be replenished.
So, just make sure that everybody knows. Taking a drink. Okay, there he goes. He's probably going to pull them around the corner. Yeah, that's what I thought. Line of sight pull. So, we'll have a little buddy waiting for them when they arrive. Love that Searing Totem. Move the totem up. Where did the warrior go? Oh, he is not in protection spec. If he just charged like that, he is in, well, I mean, spec, what am I saying? Stance. Then he must be in battle stance. Well, that could explain some of our aggro-related issues. Well, of course, he may have just used that in order to charge them, but... You know what? We'll save it for the tank. And there, so he takes less damage. We'll give him Stone Skin. Whoops, we are out. Everybody's still good. Alright, hopefully the tank realizes this. Taking a drink and he's running away. Come on, don't run away. Okay, what you gonna do? he's spanking the sheep. Okay. The whole idea of the sheep is to sheep. Well, I guess he's probably taking advantage of the fact that the sheep was pulled individually and not as part of a group, since sheeping is usually a crowd control measure. So that he takes less damage. We've got Stone Skin out. Since there are a few of them here, let's see. Oh, he is going to sheep one. Or have one sheeped, I should say. Seems like I'm healing everybody but the tank. Two-handed mace. Intellect. I love these vanilla-esque stats. Some of them are so bizarre. Well, of course, that's right. Can Shaman use two-handed maces? I forget. Oh, you know who it's probably for? It's probably for a druid. Yeah, everybody greeted on that one. might as well top off because all the conjured water is free. And it'll all disappear once I log out anyway, so. Okay, here we go.
Choo-choo. Chugga, chugga, chugga,
Terragamon, the
choo-choo.
hunger. Oops, maybe I should have given them stone skin instead. Oh, this is burning the mana. Oh, well, that got him. A blazing wand and crystalline cuffs. Well, I have to greed these. Yeah, the priest can need them. He actually does need those. The mage could do it too. That was one of the things in vanilla World of Warcraft, is that players were basically trusted to either roll need or greed. And so you could roll need on items that your character class couldn't use, even if they were going to be soulbound to you, which did cause problems, because, you know, sometimes you get the unscrupulous player who wants to get ahead by just needing on everything. And, or more perplexing, and I've never been a fan of this, was that raid groups would say, okay, nobody's going to roll on anything, it's just going to sit here at open loot, and we're going to trust that nobody takes it. And sure enough, there was always that one person who swiped everything from a run and ran away with them. It's nice to believe that people are trustworthy, but if you open it up to where they can grab stuff, it happens. It's just a matter of time. I would like a more fine-tuned looting system. But, you know, that wouldn't have been the classic thing. I'm talking more about the retail World of Warcraft, where it's like you shouldn't, you know, should be able to need on something if it's not an upgrade, and especially if it's not something you could use. Although there are going to be some problems here and there with the loot, that'll be part of the charm, I guess, of WoW Classic, is yeah. Since this is a more social game, there is no cross-realm gameplay. If you turn out to be a jerk and need roll on everything, well, eventually you get a reputation and people just won't invite you to groups anymore. Now that one's for strength. Do I even have any room yet? Oh, I do. I've got plenty of room to continue looting, so that's good. This could be a bad pull. Oh boy. We didn't sheep anything. Alright. Super spam heals are go. You know what? And let's give him a stone skin totem, because now he needs it really bad. Yeah, that's right. You pull back, because tank has priority. Oh, come on. Woo! We made it. Yeah, I'm surprised that worked. Like I said, tank has priority, and that is why. Alright, so we're all healed up, tanked up, and ready to go. And let's hear for that stone skin totem, too. Every little bit of damage mitigated helps, especially when you're running low on mana for healing. By the way, if you're just joining me on Twitch, hello, my name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Super Fantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where I'm playing the World of Warcraft Classic, and this is my Restoration Shaman. And I'm having fun here in a dungeon. Now, normally, she is dual boxing with a warrior. However, because there's a lot to keep track of in the dungeon, I can't possibly tank and heal at the same time. So my tank is sitting out in the middle of Orgrimmar, waiting for this dungeon run to be over, before they go back to questing as a team. The good thing is that in World of Warcraft Classic, all you ever see is looking for tank, looking for healer, as people spam looking for those critical roles to fill out their groups in various different dungeons. So this is Ragefire Chasm, the very first dungeon in terms of level that you'll typically encounter, which is actually within the city, Orgrimmar itself. Oh, something else to loot. Did I miss something? Are we waiting on someone? Oh, phone. Pretend you're not home. Oh, why is this mage pulling? Tank has priority. What can I say? Otherwise, I'm going to end up wiping the group if I waste heals on another character that is a whole lot squishier than the tank is. I'll heal if I can, but I already found out the hard way this run. If I burn up all the heals on a DPS character, then the tank suffers as a result. So I'm trying not to do that. Oh, the barbaric loincloth. Everybody wants that. Strength and intellect. Everybody wants that. Oh, look at this. Ah, the undead priest. I'm not going to be mean and need that away. That is a sought-after item, at least for, and I'll show you why. So, for transmogging, at least in the retail World of Warcraft, it's very brief, and so everybody likes the barbaric loincloth, and it drops from Ragefire Chasm. It's typically a low drop rate, but there is no transmog here in WoW Classic, so it looks cool, and you want to grab it, but I don't need it. It'll be an actual usable item for somebody else. Ow! You have my no death guarantee, although so far a couple of people have died this run, so it starts from this point. It's not the entire run. Now, if you're wondering, Joe, why is it that sometimes I see you clicking on Healbot Continue to heal, and sometimes using this spellbar? The spellbar actually contains a downranked heal. Right now, I believe my current version on Healing Wave is level 3, but level 2 consumes less mana. So if I need to get lots of heals and conserve the mana, I'll use the spell bar heal. And if I need to just give him the maximum amount of healing, and I've got plenty of mana, I'll use the big one. So it's different degrees of healing. The mage who keeps getting aggro. So the higher level the spell goes, the more mana it consumes. But sometimes it's the law of diminishing returns applies, where a higher ranked spell that heals more costs so much more in mana that it's actually less efficient than to simply use a lower level spell and spam it just a little bit more often. So that's why downranking your spells sometimes really helps. Okay, I guess we need to take a
I got
break
a
for some
shrunken
reason.
head. I just came out of the pool.
Oh, that's bad.
I once laughed so hard I milked all over the floor.
Oh, that's a pretty bad joke, too. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and top off. The nice thing about this run is that I have a mage on another account, so I'm able to create my own conjured fresh water before doing one of these dungeon runs, so that's why I have plenty of conjured fresh water. Oops, I guess we're going the other way. I'm guessing they're going up the ramp to hit the boss that's up there. Okay, let's see. We have the one guy with the hunter's mark. Oh, here they come in range of the searing totem. Whoops. Uh-oh. Alright, spam, spam, spam. He got hit a little harder than I was expecting. Let's get down there. Stone skin. Guys, you shouldn't be taking aggro. Darn mage. The mage who wishes she was a tank. like I said, since this water is conjured, it's free, so there's no reason to just not top it off constantly. I'm not really worried about efficiency in terms of consuming the water, because it'll all be gone when they log out anyways. And I will just conjure some more. Whoops. Hey, wait a minute. I keep the tank in front of me at all times so that I can heal him. Uh-oh, this doesn't look good. Alright, stone skin for you. And spam. As you hear me banging away at my keyboard, this is why I've chose a keyboard with Cherry MX Blue switches. If you don't know what those are, it's basically well, they're from a company called Cherry, and the switches are rated for millions of key presses so that you can bang away at the keyboard and it won't break, or at least that's the idea. Oh, stamina and spirit, but it's male. Uh-oh. Come on, mana. See, this works much better when the tank really does have priority.
I need more mana.
Come on, tank, stop. Let me get a drink. Now, that mage is just determined to take more damage. I'll give her the down rank spell. Oh, good, he's bringing them back, so they'll be in range of the totem. And there's the totem blasting away. I could spare one for the mage. After all, she's sheeping for us, so... Whoops, our warrior seems to be eager to complete this dungeon. Yeah, I can't drink while we're in combat, so I'll have to make do with the mana that I have and that I'm able to generate. This is where having a high level of spirit comes in handy, which I don't have. As a matter of fact, let's see, what is it? I have Spirit of 42. I would like it to be higher than that. Okay, throw down Stun Skin. Spare him a little damage, I hope. Oh, she has nature resistance. I don't even know what it is that she's wearing that... or using that gives her that. Okay, please let me top off. There we go. Whoops, I think he pulled the wrong one. Oh well. What are you doing getting aggro? Oh, this is not good. You know what? Let me see if I can't help a little bit.
Not enough money.
Alright, let's go ahead and revive our unfortunate party member. Let's see, where did he drop dead?
Choo choo. Chugga 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 choo choo.
Rise.
man.
Well, here's the part. This has always been kind of a curiosity for me. I mean, the Forsaken are not dead. They're not alive. But they're not strictly dead. So when you revive them, what does that actually do? You're not bringing them back to life, per se. Things that make you go, Okay, so I guess that's it for this run. Oh, still need Shaman. Shamans. Well, you know what? Why not go for the gold and put an E in there? Shamans is... Of course, that's not real word, but... Let's see if the party goes after them or not. If they do, I'd be happy to join them because more XP is good. And it won't be very long until this character reaches level 15. In fact, I'm kind of hoping, fingers crossed, or in this case hooves, that when she turns in the quests that she currently has completed, that they put her over the hump for 15. Of course, that means that she'll leave her leveling partner behind, who is still level 12. I was able to get, like I said, quite a few levels just healing some dungeons, but that'll change once my tank is able to do them. I'll kit her out properly since I've been accumulating silver going in and out of these dungeons. So. You know, at one point I got so good at tanking dungeons, people used to pay me gold to do their heroic runs. This is a long time ago. Back in Wrath of the Lich King, right before the Dungeon Finder, you could, if you were a really good tank and you were all geared out, you know, people would say, look, I just want my daily heroic, here's some gold. I'm like, okay, gotcha. Let's go have a good run. What? How did the mage die? Where did the mage die? Alright, since we're down a little bit DPS and I have no idea where the mage died, she'll probably have to run back. So I'll try to contribute a little DPS to make up for the loss. wasn't expecting to pull this guy this far back. Yeah, I guess there are shaman over here. Looks like our mage is back. There she is. Yeah, although the group is already done in terms of bosses, since they wanted to just kill a few more Trog Shaman for a quest, I was more than happy to help them out with that. I get experience for it, so it ends up ultimately benefiting my character, so it's worth sticking around for. You wouldn't find people doing this in the retail game. WoW retail, everything's like, boom, boom, done, you know, I got stuff to do, I can't be here more than 5 minutes, you know. These kinds of dungeon runs would be impossible in WoW retail. Oh, what was that bit about taking over for heals? It's like, okay. If you didn't like the heals, I'm sure it wasn't a slight. I think he was probably trying to tell me, it's like, it's okay if you want to go. It's like, no, I'm here for the XP. As long as you're killing stuff, I will help you. I'm not 60 yet. For anyone who doesn't know, 60 is currently the max level for WoW Classic. Well, and that's what it should stay at, but we'll see whether or not Blizzard can fight the temptation to say, okay, and now we're going to re-release the Burning Crusade, and now we're going to re-release the Wrath of the Lich King, although they were fantabulous expansions. My goodness, I had so much fun with both of those expansions. Cataclysm is where it jumped the shark.
For our ancestors.
Okay, well that worked out. We were finally able to get a group going and be cohesive enough to get through there. And heck, I even had to adjust some of my own problems so that eventually we were working as a team. And the more practice people get with dungeons, the better that cohesion will go, so that hopefully by the time it's time to go to the raids, we'll have some good raiding groups. Although, woo, 40 man Onyxia, I can't imagine what that'll be like. It's been so long. Just trying to get enough fire resistance for that one. Well, it'll be a lot of fun. There's a really great video called the Onyxia wipe animation that basically summarizes my entire experience with raiding guilds back in Vanilla, and why I basically just am not part of a raiding guild anymore. It's just too much of a hassle. But I don't mind dungeons. All the PvE content, that should be a lot of fun. And I could pug a raid if I can get away with it. Probably as a healer, I would think. But I don't plan to DPS or tank for any raids. But I don't mind healing. Oh, that's right. And right now she is at the auction house. Oh, although we can't see her. Oh, look at this guild name. I like this. Netflix and Kill. Well, that's a good one. Okay, so she is in a different version of Orgrimmar, so... Oh, there she is. So, Tank Cow. Alright, so I'm going to take a little break here if you're watching on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, well, this is going to be the end of this video. Join me next time here on Joe Super Fantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where we'll have more fun on the World of Warcraft, and we'll do a little multi-box questing and leveling with my tank and my healer next time. Oh, of course, I have to find the button here to end the video. See you around.